from pictures I found on the web, and I've scaled them all down to kind of fit into their places. But when you bring type in, for example, I found this Jazz, this font I'm going to use for Jazz, filled it with yellow. It's kind of fighting too much with its background. So there's a lot of colors going on in the background. And of course you can read Jazz, but it could be a lot more legible than it is. So here's a couple things I'm going to do. First, I'm obviously going to add some kind of a layer style to my type, which is part of this assignment. So some stroke or drop shadow or glow or something like that. But I'm going to wait to do that, because you can also make adjustments to the background. In fact, I would really like to see that you have modified a background in some way using Photoshop. It could be a colorization of it like we did with the fruit truck, or it could be something from the filter menu, which is that cool, it's grayed out right now, but it's called the filter gallery, and it's a cool way to kind of apply artistic looking filters to photographs that you find to make them your own in Photoshop. But here's what I'm going to do with this. All of these layers are the Jazz performance. So you can select them all either by using the command key and kind of grabbing them one at a time in no particular order. You can also select the top one and hold down Shift and select the bottom one, and everything in between will be selected. But however you want to do it, they're all gray. And I'm going to right click, or if your right click's not working for some reason, you can do Control click, and I'm going to say Merge Layers. So it squashes them down to one. And now I'm going to go over to that menu that we explored for the fruit truck exercise. So Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation. Click Colorize. And I'm going to darken it a little bit just because I want that type to really stand out. And notice how as I drag this slider across, I can kind of find different tones. I might not want to stick with a yellowy tone because the type is already yellow. So to give it some contrast, I'm going to go for kind of like a bluish green. And then, of course, you can make it more saturated, less saturated, whatever you want to do. And then you can also make it darker still. You could go lighter too if you want, but the yellow is already kind of light, so it might be nice to have a contrast between the type and the image. And then hit OK. Looks a lot better. And then the last thing we can do is we can go to the type layer and do a little layer style fix. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Obviously, I don't think I showed you this yet. Bevel and emboss, but you can do a cool like sort of 3D effect on type. You can change where the light's coming from, and it gives it sort of, I think of it like a Harry Potter poster type. If you remember those posters, they look like they're kind of chiseled out of metal, and that's sort of this vibe for the bevel and emboss. But a lot of stuff you can do.